Good morning and welcome to the 15-minute Chassidus Shir. Only 15 minutes in quantity. Hopefully it'll have an effect on your whole day. We're learning the Maamarim L'Doidi, Tavshin Chavav, and we're towards the end of Ois Hey. Explaining that Elul is the time of Isrus L'Sata. The main stress is the Yid's Avodah, to get closer to Hashem, coming from within him. And there's a revelation now spiritually of the Yud Gimel Midas Yerachmiel. They are only in a way of giving the Nesinus Koyach for the Yid. And to explain this, how the Yud Gimel Midas Yerachmiel affect every Yid, but it's only in the Nesinus Koyach, it's only giving him the strength to do this, and it's not a matter of an automatic being drawn into this from above, like Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. The Alter Rebbe's mashal is that the king is in the palace, he leaves the palace, goes into the field, and then there's the ability for everyone to go and greet him, who wants to, and he accepts everyone, he smiles at them, and they go back with him to the palace. Explaining the details of this mashal, number one, everybody has to want to. Kol misha roitze. That's the first thing. That comes the vedas of the person. Second of all, when he says Makabel Kulam, everyone, who's everyone? Even if there's a yid that says, I would really like to become better. It'd be wonderful if I could shake off some of the Yetzer Hara, the Nefesh Habamis, my attraction to all the Taivas in Olam Hazeh. I can shake that off. I'm stuck. I'm anchored down. Even that move of wanting to get closer registers with the tremendous revelation of the love and rachamim that Hashem has, that He's shining down into the world of Yud Gimel Rachamim. And that's a connecting piece. That connecting piece then helps that he's able to actually overcome it. Through this, then, the Yid does tshuva. The main meaning of tshuva is Kabbalas El Malchus Shemayim. The Averis and the attachment to Olam Hazeh is Prikus oil, throwing off the yoke of Hashem. The theme of Teshuvah is Kabbalas El Malchus Shemayim. And so there you have this, the Yid wants to get closer to Hashem. This, then, he's Makabel for save upon him Yofes. It's the Yid's wanting to get closer, and this Hashem accepts. He accepts something which is outside. And then this then triggers, so to speak, it brings from within Hashem's pleasure in the Yid. So in the realm of pleasure, there are many different levels. And here, when we say the word pleasure, or the Hebrew word tainug, it doesn't mean pleasure like you enjoy something which is sweet, or from someone's hot, and you go into a cold place, you feel the pleasure. Talking about a deep inner satisfaction and attachment, which in our life would be in the Nefesh Adam would be the inner motivational energy that there is within someone that's the cause of everything else that they do. So there's the language that we finished off with was that when the king smiles, it's his inner smiling shows on an inner pleasure. The mashal refers to the inner pleasure of what's coming out. We said that's the source of that is from tainug atzmis, the atzmis tainug, the essential inner pleasure that there is within Hashem. And so there's different levels of this tainug. Tainug could come from something else which is also extremely valuable, and that's called tainug murkiv. Murkiv means a blend, a grafting. Or there's so there's a more external level, and then there's the deeper level which brings out the very essence, really, of the one who has the tainug. So in relation to the Yid and Hashem, there are different levels in which a Yid elicits this inner connection to Hashem of the Hashem's tainug, and then you have the essential tainug that Hashem has. So it's a wondrous concept and a wondrous dynamic that what a Yid does, it's not just we live in Olam Hazeh and we live a religious life and rituals, etc. There's an inner bonding of life energy from a Yid here in Olam Hazeh to the very essence of the Eibishter, as he is the source and constant life-giving energy in our world and in the universe. There's this bonding. When a Yid does a mitzvah, when a Yid learns Torah, and Yid does tshuva, and it connects to the deepest levels of this godly energy, until, in this case, it's the pleasure of the king. What's the pleasure of the king? The Yid and the Neshama of every single Yid, and that of the essence of Hashem, are united as one. The ultimate, infinite, unformatted Ein Sof of Hashem, as he is deeper than any type of godly revelation, that is bonded with the Neshama of the Yid. This is depicted by the smile of the king. So we'll learn inside. We're on the top of page Reishu Tes, the last paragraph of Oisei, and we'll go to learn also Ha'ara 21. V'yesh loymar the inyan ponim soichakos b'hanim shulhu, and that there's a ponim soichakos, the inner, the smile of the king in the nimshul. Nimshul means as it is with Hashem, who are tainug de la maila. It's the pleasure above, Shir Yisrael Atzman, in the Yidden themselves. Here we have a brackets. What do you mean in the Yidden themselves? Shilomaylam at Tainik Shemikim at Toyer of a Mitzvah Yisrael. And this is greater than the pleasure that Hashem has when a Yid learns Toyer and does mitzvahs. And then there's a deep level of Vaidav that the Yid does, and that is of Tshuva. L'mayla Gam Matanik and that also this is also deeper than the pleasure that Hashem has. Pleasure meaning the connective energy to the very inner essence of Hashem. The tainig zehu b'ha'atzmus, and this tainig is in the very essence of Hashem. The atzmus meaning the very essence of Hashem. There's many levels of revelation in all our worlds. There's a revelation. There's the world of Atzilus, the highest level of revelation of Hashem, where everything is godly. And the different worlds of Bria, Yitzir, Nasiya, Hashem, where there are different angels and different levels, till you have our planet Earth, our universe, where there's Hashem's completely hidden. But the inner energy of all of this, the very essence of Hashem, greater than the revelation of the infiniteness of Him, and that's where this inner pleasure is, as the reason for creation of the world. Why are we created? Why are we here? And this is relevant to why are we here? How are we connected to Hashem? Are we connected? How does it work? So there's different reasons given in the Torah. Not only in Gemara, there you have there's the Schava Einish, reward and punishment. There's the Zohar. There's the Eitz Chaim. Then you have a medrash that the Alter Rebbe brings in Tanya, and it's essence of why we're created. That the reason is Nesava lo yisparach li so yisparach b'zachatayim. Hashem desired to have a dwelling place for Himself here. Now this is a large topic, but it gives us the understanding that there's a tachtonim. Tachtonim means in the lower worlds. Lower and higher means in this context where Hashem's revealed, Hashem's hidden. There's no more hiddenness than in this world. So He desired, the word nisava lo yisbarach, He desired to have it. And the word desire comes from this inner level where you don't have what we call a logical reason. And that's the core. So the very depths from within Hashem, that you have this inner level of Nesava, of Tainuk, that's where Neshamas Yisrael are attached to one part of. No matter what they do, that's what Neshamas are. They're attached to one part of this inner level. Let's go down to R21. And here we're explaining that there's the tshuva itself. You have tzaddikim and balei tshuva. Balei tshuva doesn't have to be on the virus. The Alter Rebbe explains in Likutei Torah and other places that teshuva means returning. What are you returning to? So the neshama, as it's put into a body, is stuck. It's stuck that it can't express itself in the average Yid. It's a piece of godliness that in the higher spiritual worlds where there's no body attractions, no physical things, it's in the world of godliness, love and fear and understanding Hashem. Here it's in the body. So our avodah is to return the neshama to its source. What does that mean? It means to bring out the godly level of each neshama. It's love for Hashem, it's understanding of Torah, and through this refine the Nevesh Habamis and the Guf and the parts of the world that we are in contact with. That's Teshuvah. It returns and, in other words, bring out who we are deep down inside. What is a Yid? What makes a Yid is his Nefesh Elokis. What have we got to do? What's the mission? Do Teshuvah, return, bring out this about who we really are deep down inside. That's the Teshuvah. So that applies to everybody, not someone who's necessarily done an Aveira. And so the Gemara says, the Makom Shabali Chuvim Ein Tzadikim Gemurim Yichayim Lamed Sham. It's greater than the level of a tzaddik. Let's look inside. May hataimim al malus Bali Tshuva tzadikim, from the reasons that the Bali Tshuva are higher than the tzadikim, who shetshuva bom b'tzad neshama. The tshuva comes from the neshama's calling out that there's v'shalamaylam Torah. It's higher than Torah. There's the act of learning Torah. There's the connection of learning Torah. But then you have the neshama says, I'm a Yid. I want to connect to you, Hashem. That move, that energy comes from the neshama itself, not from something it does. It's like it's shining through. Who am I? Oh, this is who I am. The neshama is trickling down. The next line in the Ha'ara, V'lachein therefore, al yidei tshuva misgala, achar kach hamal Yisrael atzman. Therefore, after tshuva, through tshuva, you reveal after that the level, the mile of the Yid. So, Ella, Sha'afal Pikein, Inyan HaTshuva, Hu Rak Hakdoma, Legili Het Tainik Shabisrael Atzman. Because you have the pleasure that Hashem has from the Torah mitzvahs. And then you have the Neshama itself shining through, which spurs the Yid to do tshuva. And that's Neshama shining through. And this tshuva is only a preparation to the revelation of the pleasure of Hashem with the Yid himself. There's the pleasure that Hashem has because He told the Yid to learn Torah and do mitzvahs. And then you have the neshama shining out, so that it connects to that's neshama shining through, which brings a tremendous level of tainik by Hashem. However, but the neshama itself, can neshama atzmi l'mayla come in the tshuva, because the neshama itself is higher than tshuva. Tshuva is a move of the neshama. What's the neshama itself? And that relates to that's the level that we're speaking about here of the pleasure that there is within Hashem. So it's the neshama. So every neshama has this unique connection and pleasure within Hashem. Back inside at the top of the page, we're on the third line down in the middle. Al yedei shemar lehem panim soichakos, and this is Hashem shows him his smiling countenance. What's that? This pleasure of Hashem shines onto the neshama, onto the Yid, who wants to do tshuva, who is doing tshuva. He has this desire for tshuva. So that what happens? This brings out from the Yid the same way. Kamaim apanim lepanim is the lashon of the Tehillim, as one, and the pshat here is that as you look into water, so that face that you show to the water is mirrored back to you. So too in this dynamic, as Hashem smiles and this deep level of Hashem's pleasure in the Yid is shining onto the Yid, this brings out from him that what should be his inner pleasure, the essence of Hashem's pleasure is with the Yid. So what does this bring out? What am I all about? What's my inner energy and motivation is what? The tainik below course. The my pleasure and godliness. Until that becomes what do I enjoy? What do I love? What's my inner energy wanting to be close to Hashem? As the Mishnah says, I'm created just to serve Hashem, and that becomes my inner energy in being. There's nothing else that I want in the whole world. This is the only thing of value. Therefore, this gives the Yid now the strength to be able to overcome anything that would hold him back, and he could do complete tshuva. We're going to ask in the next choices. This seems it's not just in the sinus koyach. It seems that Hashem is actively involved in helping a Yid get close to Him. So explore this further in Eisvav. Thank you for joining. Have a great day.